So hello guys, today I wanted to do something kind of interesting, something that I've never done before. So, you may be wondering, what is it? Well, I decided to make a Pirates of Destiny AU, an alternate universe. And you read the title correct. It is about if Blue failed to escape from King Scales. This kind of took a while to write, but I thought it'd just be an interesting concept to do, so I decided to do it. So with all that out of the way, let me get reading. So, Blue grabbed the sword and tried to reach down to his leg, but he failed. The sword was grabbed from his very wings and stab. He got stabbed in the leg by King Scales. Then he jumped on him and reached the cliff. When he jumped on him, he lost his grip, and he plunged down into the land below. But on the cliff, Scales was alive. Celeste was completely frozen. She had just seen her son fall into the abyss. Her breath became rapid as she shook in place. Scarlett was also frozen. Then King Scales lunged at Celeste, stabbing her straight in the eye. Scarlett jumped in and tried to grab his back, but Scarlett got stabbed in the process of this, injuring him badly near his chest. Celeste was trying to fight back, but King Scales was beating her up badly. Then a whoosh was heard. Scarlett was lying on the ground, bleeding, crying, and hurt. He saw a flying figure, his sister. She clawed the king badly and made him fall, but when she did this, the king stabbed her. The king stabbed her in the wing badly, which caused her to fall instantly onto the ground. And while bleeding out from her blue wing, she grabbed the sword that he dropped on the ground and stabbed him in the neck. He dropped dead instantly. Celeste was lying and bleeding on the ground. Blood poured from her eye as she cried over the cliff. All she could see below was a blue blob of a bird from high up. Scarlett could barely look down below. He was enveloped by guilt, and all he could do was just cry. He believed he was at fault for Blue's death. Axel heard all the screaming and walked over there. He saw everything. King Scales' bloodied corpse, Celeste's bleeding eye, and Scarlett crying. Then he looked below to see what he was crying about, and he broke. He saw Blue's body below, and he instantly stepped back and started breathing heavily. Then tears started pouring from his eyes like rainwater. "No!" he screamed as he fell to his knees. "No, no, no!" he screamed as his voice got higher pitched with his crying. He was punching the ground to no avail as he sobbed. Sunny was also crying with her brother as her wing was still bleeding. Sadness completely filled the air as Axel was still depressingly lying on the ground. Many hours later, on the ground below where Blue landed, he finally opened his eyes. His vision was a blur, and he heard it ringing in his ear sockets. He could barely move, but he tried to stand. His leg ached heavily with pain, and his feathers were all ruffled from the fall. Then he looked at his tail. While the trees managed to soften his fall some, his tail was completely mutilated from the branches that his tail got stuck on during the fall. A large gash was on his leg, and he just wanted to collapse onto the ground. He was covered in cuts, and his beak was smashed from the fall. Then he started screaming, "Mom! Axel! Scarlett! Sunny! Anyone?" He screamed as he screamed his voice out, but no one was there. He was all alone. Everyone else thought he was dead, and eventually they found the ship to leave. Blue was now sobbing as he was just begging for someone to help him. But it was only him now, him and the forest. Then, with no other choice left for him, he painfully walked into the forest that lied below. He could hear nothing but his labored breathing and the insects that swarmed inside the forest. He painstakingly walked for miles and miles until eventually he found a cave and walked inside it. Then he slumped his pained body against the rocky walls and looked into the pooling rocky floors. Besides, even if they found me, why would he love me? My tail is ruined, my leg has been mutilated, and my beak is cracked open. I am no longer handsome to him. I am as ugly as the ground, said Blue as he looked into the water. Then he covered his watery eyes with his ruffled wings. Now I must live through this in my solitude, said Blue as he uncovered his eyes. Then he cupped his wings together and stuck it in the water. Then he drank the water. Then many years later, it had been years since he last had contact with anyone. He had lived in the solitary for so long. His feathers looked duller, and the wound on his leg transformed into a large white scar that turned the rest of the skin around it lighter as well. Anywhere that the scar had touched had lost the ability of touch, as the nerves had died. His tail was permanently ruined, resulting in his ability of flight to be permanently hindered. A large scar went up his chest to his stomach, leaving the affected areas featherless. His breathing and eating was permanently altered from his cracked bill. He had to take small bites at a time, resulting in him being nutrient deficient. He looked disheveled and was slowly losing his sanity. He spent his days looking for food, while he spent his nights lying on the sharp ground of the cave. This caused him many back problems. He made his own books using sheets of wood he cut using tools he made. His writing slowly went from sophisticated to painful scribbles and ramblings. It was one of the few things that he liked and was still able to do. He still thought about his family and Axel time to time, wondering if they still even loved him or cared about him. Everyone else returned and lived on the island. Despite no longer being in the underground, his family and Axel were never the same. Celeste had been permanently blinded from King Scale's attack. Her left eye was pale with a large scar. Due to its shape, it made her look like she was crying all the time. Her maw was also heavily scarred. Her tail was permanently bent down from King Scale's attack, and she had a large scar on her tail. Despite trying to be happy, deep down she was deeply depressed from her son's death. Scarletty's scar made the area surrounding it featherless. He hated himself and believed he was at fault for his brother's death. As a result, he started plucking his own feathers from his guilt, leaving his chest and stomach bare of feathers. Sunny was left permanently flightless from her wing being stabbed. This left her being discontent with life. She wanted to fly around and play, but she was unable to. She continued to try to cheer people up, but deep down she was unhappy. Axel fell into a deep depression he never got over. He could barely care about his appearance, and he barely ever wanted to eat. He looked deeply sad all the time. His feathers were overgrown, and his crest was permanently down from his sadness. His chest and stomach were bare from him plucking, and he could barely care about anything. He found no joy in anything, and he was miserable all the time. Coco was also depressed. She deeply cared about Axel, and she was worried about his lack of self-care, though she herself was not happy. The memories of her parents, propped up skeletons, haunted her permanently. She just wanted to forget, but she could not. And I'm also going to show off what they look like, because I also made designs for what they look like. And Coco didn't get a design since her design didn't because nothing really happened to her, so nothing would really change in her design. But anyways, that's the end. Let me down below if you want to see more stuff like this. So like yeah, goodbye.